Hi, welcome to our video. Today we're going to talk about the southwest part of Mexico. This region is formed by the states of Oaxaca and Chiapas, and it's just below our state. Our team is conformed by Jared, Pedro, Dani, Yami, Pau, and Andrea.
There's evidence of life in Oaxaca from at least 11,000 years ago. Around 5,000 before Christ, there was some kind of indication of agriculture, and 3,000 years after, there were established villages. During the 12th century, Oaxaca was inhabited by Zapotec and Mixtec cultures. Colonial. Oaxaca stood as a negotiator during the colonial period. Zapotecs chose to negotiate with the hierarchy, while the Mixtec resisted Spanish occupation until the 16th century. This state was overall isolated during this period for its lack of roads, and of course the complicated geography that affects these roads, and the lack of the then modern forms of communication. Modern history. During the Porfiriato, Oaxaca had a complete reformation that brought the state to the modern era. These reformation efforts included light, gas, electricity, and railroad lines. Decades after, Oaxaca suffered from a series of earthquakes as well as some floods. Since the revolution, the Institutional Revolutionary Party, or PRI, has been the party that held the power. This stopped in 2010. The state had some controversy recently behind the disappearance of activists. Chiapas, pre-colonial. Before colonization, Chiapas had no political or ethnic unity. It was a diverse land found between two oceans, something that made it an important point for commerce. The state is mainly known for the Mayan culture, but there's evidence of other groups, like the Soques and Mixes. Colonial. All cultures were subdued during the conquest, except the Landacones, but that didn't last since they would be defeated in 1695. In that point, Chiapas would be completely controlled by Europeans. During this period, a high number of black slaves were spotted in Chiapas, and this would be a part of the particular cultural identity that would form in there. A population with the mixed backgrounds of black slaves, European conquerors, and of course, natives. Modern period. After the revolution and the independence, and a small war in 1911, Chiapas stood as an important point for economical development, mainly due to coffee. As an interesting fact, the production of coffee created a tactic known as enganche or hook, where recruiters would lure workers with advanced payments and alcohol just to later trap them in debt and force them to work. The story of Chiapas has been particularly complicated due to all the conflicts, like the Small War of Tuxtla or the Mapaches conflict. Still to this day, Chiapas is considered isolated culturally and geographically from the other states, and it's also significantly underdeveloped.
The main economic activities of Chiapas are agriculture, farming, forestry, cattle ranch, fishery, and the production and exportation of coffee. One of its two major activities are the generation of electricity and crude oil production. Fortunately, the performance rate in Chiapas is so low that it's compared to the level of nations like Vietnam and Algeria. 50% of the economically active population works in the agricultural fields, which, despite its importance, still lacks regarding activity, productivity, and efficiency. Chiapas is considered the poorest region in the country. The reasons for this are many, including a large indigenous population, high rates of illiteracy, and lack of infrastructure. The per capita income in Chiapas is the lowest of the 32 federal entities, at barely 40% of the national median. The economic activities of Oaxaca are the mining industry, agriculture, exploitation of natural resources, commerce, and tourism. Another important part of the economy in Oaxaca is known as informal economy, where women work in milpas, huertas, or textile work, and the production from this economy is considered one of the most vital ones, even though it's not recognized properly. When it comes to agriculture, Oaxaca is the nation's second highest producer of grains and agave, and it is the third in the production of peanuts, mango, and sugarcane. And when it comes to the mining industry, Oaxaca currently produces coal, salt, petroleum, marble, graphite, titanium, silver, gold, and lead. Since Oaxaca is also a marginalized state, tourism is important as it is the only sector that is growing and brings substantial income from outside the state. Most is concentrated in the capital, with some along the coast as well.
Some traditions of Oaxaca are Guelaguetza. It is a typical Oaxaca festival. This celebration is done with the objective of thanking the gods for the crops, the rain, the sun, and others. The Night of the Radishes. This tradition is when local farmers begin to harvest large radishes. It is celebrated on the night of December 23, where they use radishes to sculpt figures. It is customary to break the dishes, and according to the number of pieces in which it is broken, it will be part of your luck. Witches Tuesday, this tradition of Santa Cruz, Xoxocotlan, announces the arrival of Lent. The witches are oil lamps that start in a night gathering where tamales and atoles are shared in the town's main square while enjoying cultural events. Now let's talk about some traditions of Chiapas. There is party of the Parachitos. It is celebrated on January 6th of each year in Chiapa de Corzo. During this party, dances, parades, representations of naval confrontations, and fireworks are in. Toque Coiteco Carnival. It is one of the most representative celebrations of the municipality of Ocosocautla. The carnival soke begins on the seventh Friday before Ash Wednesday and shows religious elements. These celebrations bring together traditional musicians and dancers with colorful costumes and masks with human faces. Its rituals symbolize the fight between good and evil between the Moors and the Christians. In San Cristobal de las Casas, there are festivities during all the year in the different places of the city, dedicated to the Virgins or the patron saint of the tutelary temples. The most important are those of April 1, which commemorates the anniversary of the founding of the city, and that of July 25, which is the titular festival of San Cristobal.
Now we're gonna talk about regionalism. But first, what is it? Regionalism is a linguistic term for a word, expression, or pronunciation favored by speakers in a particular geographic area. Starting with Oaxaca, we can say muchito to refer to children. They say yope to refer to someone with lots of muscle or someone just plain rude. They use chilaque to refer to the mess that you have in your room. They also use que parió, which is an expression to asking why something bad happened, when you're angry. They also use cuche when referring to someone who doesn't showers or acts like a pig. Now, moving on to Chiapas, there they use bolo, referring to someone drunk. They also say cochi, referring to extra adorable pigs, little piggies. They say pringapie, some people referring to having diarrhea or going to the bathroom. They use the term meco for someone blonde and some kind dirty minded. They also use the word fiero, referring to something ugly or bad, not likable. They use malaya, referring to some kind of exclamation form, expressing nostalgia. They use pasmazón, referring to a really bad case of flu or having a really bad cold. There, instead of calling chipotes, when you hit your head, they call it sopapos. And that's it for these regions.
Next, we're gonna talk about the typical dishes. In Oaxaca, in the most typical dishes, there are the seven moles. These are said to be because initially the entity was divided into this number of regions.
They consist of black mole, whose main ingredient is an endemic chili from the place called Chihuahua, the red mole, which is the spiciest of all, the yellow mole that is very thick, yellow to orange in color and has little leaching, green mole, which is very herbal and its main ingredient is green chili, the mole chichilo that is only prepared on such special occasions as weddings, baptisms, or parties of the religious patrons of the towns. The red mole that is the sweetest of all, and its basic elements are pasilla chile, chocolate, tomato, garlic, salt, and sugar. And finally, the stew that is usually eaten in the highest and coldest areas of Oaxaca. It is the broadiest of all and is served with chicken and pickled olives. Chapulines are another typical food. They are roasted in large comales and seasoned with chili, salt, and lemon. These animals provide a lot of protein. They are eaten as snacks and are used to complement other dishes. We also have tlayudas that consist of a large tortilla that is left on the grill for a longer time than normal to roast. Then you add beans, Oaxacan cheese, chopped cabbage, a chili sauce made in molcajete, and tasajo that is also a typical food there. That is meat cut into strips. The last dish that we will see from Oaxaca is the sopa de guías con chochoyotes. This is a dish that gets more used when it rains on the cornfield, since the products are fresher. The main ingredients are the guías, which are the tender stems and the tips of plants, such as chayote and squash, sweet corn, and chochoyote, which is a ball of corn dog with a cavity in the center. So now we continue with Chiapas. First, we have this dish called tamales chiapanecos. These tamales are known for being wrapped in banana leaves, and there is a great variety of flavors. Among these, there are the tamales de chipilín that are based on corn and leaves of the chipilín plant. We also have the tamales de bola. Its main ingredients are spices and stuffed with beef, pork ribs, or chicken. The tamal of mole, which is filled with mole and chicken or turkey, and the tamal of azafran, which is corn-based mixed with saffron, cinnamon, cloves, and pepper. There are other tamales like tamal cambray, tamal momo, and tamal picte.
This is some of Chiapas craft. Amber jewelry is very popular because it is made out of a fossil that is very colorful, which lets the craftsmen do necklaces and rings out of it, just like these ones in the picture. Fabrics are very important among the Chiapas culture because it represents a colorful handmade type of patterns that are animals, flowers, jungle, butterflies, etc. Lacquer well also is a type of pre-Hispanic ancestral tradition that is made out of fruits such as jicama and pumpkin. It is painted with óleo. Hi, so these are some of the most popular crafts from Oaxaca. Black mud from San Bartolo Coyotepec is mostly famous because it is handmade, and the craftsmen use traditional techniques to sun dry them. Also, alebrijes, as we all may know, are some of the most popular type of craft in all of our country, but mostly in Oaxaca. This type of art lets the craftsmen blow their imagination and create fantastic figures that take a lot of time, color, and effort. Huaraches are some of the most worn type of craft in Oaxaca because the village people use them a lot. They are handmade and very pretty. Also, the wood masks are very popular because they use them for their traditional parties. They are mostly made with faces of animals like tigers, lizards, etc.